Good afternoon, councillors, members of the public, officers. Welcome along to this meeting, which I declare open. Councillors, Councillor Hayward requests approval to participate by phone. He is located at 4 Bossley Street in Geraldton. Can I have someone move that that be approved? Councillor Yip, seconded Councillor Plum. All in favour? That's carried unanimously. Welcome to the meeting, Councillor Hayward. Under announcements, councillors, the city has received this very handsome award. It's for the Volunteer Employer Recognition Awards. It's a gold award awarded at the 2019 Volunteer Employee Recognition Awards. I'll just briefly read out to you a couple of sentences from the Commissioner. This award recognises the valuable role your organisation plays in supporting the delivery of emergency services in WA. Your contribution as an employer of fire and emergency services volunteer is not underestimated. Over 25,000 volunteers across our state help the Department of Fire and Emergency Services and the community prepare for, respond to and recover from emergencies. Without the generous support of employers like you, this would simply not be possible. Your cooperation ensures that volunteers are released from their duties to respond to emergency situations and in many cases attend important training to enhance their skills as a volunteer. For that we thank you. So there you go. Councillor Brown is on approved leave. Councillors, are there any declarations of interest for tonight's meeting? Thank you. Can I also move confirmation of the minutes of the last meeting? Councillor Steele, Councillor McCleary, all in favour? That's Councillor Hayward.
Yes, sorry, my mute wouldn't come up. I apologise.
Are you voting in favour of the minutes being accurate?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Thank you. Right. We have advisory committee, the Heritage Advisory Committee minutes of the 12th of June. So I move they be accepted and noted, please. Councillor Smith, Councillor Steele, all in favour?
Yes.
Thank you. That's carried unanimously. Are there any petitions, councillors? Okay. Method of dealing with tonight's agenda. Coming out for further consideration, 10.11. 10.31, 10.32. Are there any others, councillors? Councillor
10.51, Mr. Mayor, please.
Councillor Giles, same one.
10.52, sir.
Okay, what I'll do with 10.52, I'll take it behind closed doors. All good. Can I someone move the balance? Councillor Steck, Councillor McCleary, all in favour?
Yes.
That's carried unanimously. Thank you. So 10.11, we have an executive recommendation there as well. Can someone move the executive recommendation, councillors? Councillor Smith. Seconder. Councillor McCleary. Likely to be any debate? I'll put it all in favour.
Yes.
That's carried unanimously. Thank you. 10.31. Councillor McGuell.
Mr. Mayor, I'll move that the recommendation is basically moved with no change. That would be, I believe the figures or the blanks would be 25,000, 30,000, 3.5, 61 and 25,000
Okay.
I have an alternative motion.
Yeah, thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Plum. Councillor McGwell.
This is speaking to the current one, yes?
Yep.
So councillors, obviously this is the current setup we have at the moment. I think Ms. Walensky is going to be assisting there anyway, but obviously it's basically where we are. This is what the city may have been over the last few years, that there's been some slight changes from year to year. First of all, I would like to say that obviously there was talk earlier about a reduction. I think with some discussions around what we need to do, I certainly don't support the reduction. I think what councillors do is invaluable to the city. As was discussed last week, it always is quite difficult or interesting situation where we sort of talking about our sitting fees each year, and obviously the discussion was that this will be brought up in a policy coming forward. I look forward to that policy maybe taking away some of this discussion each year. But basically where we're at right now, I know there potentially maybe some appetite for some kind of increase. That'll obviously be debated in a bit, but I think it is in certain times where we're at. We're obviously very much striving to make sure we can do what we can for the city. And as I reiterate again, I know a lot of councillors around the room are spending a lot of time making sure they are doing a lot of work, and certainly our ratepayers do appreciate that. However, when there is uncertainty, when we are unsure about things, it's pretty hard to put a number of where we're at, and that's where I think it's very important for us to be sensible now, saying that this is what we've done previously. It's easy to sell to our community saying we're not making any change, we're sort of staying where we are, and that's a sensible approach, and I think it is the way to go. I think it sends a good message back to our city, or back to our ratepayers, I should say, that as a council we're looking to try to do what we can, say what we can. So again, I know that the debate would be that it hasn't changed for some time, and if you compare it to other councils, we are certainly less than a lot of other councils. There are a few other councils that obviously do have their councillors as well, that may or may not come into it, but of course we need to look at what we're doing as a city, and right now I think this is a sensible move to stay at the current rate, and so I urge councillors to support this.
Councillor Plum.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I think the best way to deal with this, as Councillor McGuell's just mentioned, is with a policy where a fraction of the range would be set or recommended to come back to council. Mr Mayor and Councillors, the very next item on the agenda is to advise the CEO to put forward rates increase of 0 for the next budget. So obviously, you know, this is not specifically the time, I believe, to be giving ourselves a pay increase. And I say that with respect because I understand there are many councillors in the room who have served for many more years as I have without an increase. But I do believe that the best way to deal with this is with a policy and come back to council. Thank you.
Councillor Kozisek, you wanted to move an alternative. The way to process that is you vote against this, and if you wish to speak against it, now's the time.
Okay, certainly. Thank you. Mr Mayor, I would like to speak against this because I'm sure all of the councillors that have been on council for many more years than I have would be well aware that the attendance fees have not risen in the last 7 years. And I think a consumer price index, as per the last 7 years to December, which equals 17.3%, would have us being paid at least $29,325 per annum. This is still well below the full band, and I would recommend that it's time for an increase. I'd like to point out that staff were given the opportunity to vote on whether or not they received a pay rise this year, and they voted for their annual increase of 2.5%, and every year they get an increase. I also would like to say that this payment is referred to in the motion as a meeting attendance fee. However, we do much more than attend council meetings. Many of our councillors are on up to 8 committees. We also need to read an amazing amount of paperwork before each meeting. We have ratepayers calling us often to help with an issue, clarify a decision, or to simply complain about something. Our new local government rules mandate that all elected councillors must complete 7 modules of study in the first 12 months. This is a 30 to 40 hour a week commitment. And we like to think of Bunbury as the second city. yet we do not reflect this in the fee that we pay to our elected members. I would urge that you vote against this motion and listen to my new motion, which is that we raise the fees to $28,000 per annum. Thank you.
Speaker 4. Councillor McGuell.
Thank you, councillors and Mr Mayor and Councillor Kozisek. Look, as I said, not taking away what a number of councillors do, and I do agree that, and that's what I did say, that at some stage, obviously, potentially, we should have increased that inflation, but we didn't, and that's what my major argument now is that now is not the right time in the current circumstances. The arguments back will be never is a good time, never is a good look, but that's what a policy can be fought and go around that. And I think this year, this particular time right now, in the current environment with everything going on, I think this is just the sensible way to do it. Get it to the policy committee, let the policy come back and we can discuss the policy, come up with an agreement from there and move forward on that one. But that's right, I think, and I'd urge councillors to agree with that.
Thank you. This requires an absolute majority. Those in favour, please indicate. Councillor Hayward?
No, is my vote.
Okay. So those against? That's lost. Councillors McGuell, Plum and myself voted for. The rest voted against. Councillor Kozisek?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I would like to move a motion, and this is regard to portion A of this. I just recall you saying, Mr Mayor, that last week we would take these as separate items. So I'm dealing with point A, the councillor meeting allowances. As I mentioned before, the many things that we haven't had a raise in 7 years, and even...
Sorry, Councillor Kozisek, you're just moving A, aren't you?
A, yes.
Is there a seconder to your motion that it
Yes,
goes to
certainly.
29,000, whatever it is?
28,000.
Councillor Steck, Councillor Kozisek.
Would that mean the rest is still the same? Or is that
No, we've lost that motion, so we're starting from scratch.
May I continue, sir?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Councillor McCleary.
Mr Mayor, so what is he going to be putting in her blank here? Because I'm thinking,
She's only dealing with A.
Yep, it's all right, Betty. Yep.
what is the amount?
It's 28,000.
28,000 for the councillor meeting attendance fee.
Isn't that less than what we're getting now?
We are getting 25,000 per annum at the moment.
Councillor Kozisek, when you have council meetings, you talk through me.
Oh, my apologies, sir. I'm yours.
So, and questions also come this way.
Sorry.
Continue.
Thank you kindly. As I finished off previously, we like to think of Bunbury as the second city, yet we do not reflect this in the fee paid to our elected members. We are lagging behind the other regional cities. For example, Bunbury has an income stream of 39 million. Kalgoorlie's income is 25 million and Albany 38 million, yet both of these cities pay sitting fees at the top of the band, 31,684. Bunbury is the lowest paid regional city at 25,000. I believe this disparity sets a poor example of the value we place on our councillors and the commitment they have to our community, often to the detriment of their own career or business and to their families. Many will say that this is not a good time to raise these fees, but it seems to me that every year for 7 years we have been convinced it is not a good time. So when is it a good time? I liken it to a couple getting married and then discussing when is the perfect time to bring another beautiful child into this world. Is there ever a perfect time? If we're going to put Bunbury on the map, we need to value the councillors we have elected, encourage new candidates to come forward because we need to embrace new ideas. And I quote, pay peanuts and you get monkeys. Thank you very much.
Councillor Stick.
Thank you, sir. It's just, for me, in my summation of all of this, I'm of the view that we are the regional city. I did Google us and did quite some research with the surrounds of Bunbury. We do provide a lot of the facilities as a regional city, and it's a hot debate in this council annually at budget time. We know that, and we do look for other opportunities to progress our city. And when I Googled us in Wikipedia, it doesn't just come up as the city of Bunbury, it comes up with all the population around Bunbury as the regional city. So what kind of message are we sending out to the community if we're saying 1 minute we want to be the regional city, but yet we don't recognise what the work and contribution that councillors do at a regional level, sir?
I'm going to speak against this. I've been in local government nearly 50 years. I've never met a person in local government in that time who does it for the money. That's what I'm hearing tonight. I'm hearing that tonight.
Point of order, sir. I definitely didn't come to this council for the money. And when I started, I had 4 little kids, a business, and probably lucky to even get $4,000 a year.
Have a seat. As was in the previous debate, this is a tough year. It's a tough year for our community. I mean, we have made a whole raft of changes to lessen the blow to our community. Business support, $140,000. Waiving fees and charges, waiving rent. I know what the front page of the paper will be on Thursday if this gets up. Have a think about it, councillors. You are here to serve the community. It shouldn't be an expensive exercise for you, but you're not here to make sure that you get remunerated at a level that you think is appropriate. Further speaker 4.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would never be a wedge voter, okay? I will stand here and vote for what I believe in for our community and for what I think is good for our councillors. I want to read you something that can really relate to council, and this is where I'm coming from. I'm looking at the vision of future councillors, okay? Unsuccessful people make decisions based on their current situation. Successful people make decisions based on where they want to be. Where I want this council to be in 5 and 10 years' time is to have educated people, and we are here now. But we're doing training. We have more things available to us to increase our knowledge and to make better decisions, more informed decisions. To be able to bring in more professional people on council in the years to come, it will be the first thing that they will look at, because that's what professional people do. They not only are ambitious for their profession, but also for the amount of money they can get in the bank. Now, if we're going to have peanuts, we are going to get monkeys. That's as simple as that. I'm being very straightforward here. This is a very small amount that we have asked for an increase. If you were to take it over the 7 years, it wouldn't be much at all. It's not about money. It's about value. It's about valuing our contribution and for the city to value our contribution. It's about accountability. So we can account for if we are paid a reasonable sitting fee. We will get here, we will sit here, we will be accountable, we will go to the committee meetings, we will do that extra reading because we feel valued. It's about valuing what you can do for this city. It is not about the dollars. So I would ask you, councillors, to vote for this small increase. Quite frankly, the amount that it is, even if we were to give it to the city, they couldn't do much with it anyway. But what we can do for the city to save money is to be trained and better educated to be able to make those decisions with our staff to bring to the city a better, more equitable budget. So there, it's about informing, educating and valuing the people who have been elected here. It's not about money. So don't be afraid, don't do the wedge voting, stand up, be proud. We are councillors, we are valued in our community. Thank you.
Speaker against. Councillor Kozisek.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Cleary. That was beautifully said. I would just like to round off in saying that when I ran for council in October, it was not about the money in the slightest, and it still isn't. I like to think that I am a valued member of this community and I have plenty to offer, and I think as Councillor McCleary said, it's about valuing us. I think that we have a fabulous set of councillors here at the moment, and I don't believe for any minute that one of them is here for the money. We are here because we want to contribute to Bunbury. We want to make Bunbury the amazing place that it can be, and we are amazing, but I think we can be even more amazing. I think thinking of it as purely about a money thing, to me that's illogical. I'm here because I love what I do and I love the people that I'm here with, and I want to contribute to Bunbury and I want to do it well. Thank you.
Those in support, please indicate. Councillor Hayward.
I'll be voting no.
Those against? Councillor Hayward, you voted no. That's carried. Councillors Plum, Miguel, Hayward and myself voted against. The rest voted for. We move on to B. Councillor
I'll just go back to the initial ones that were in there with no change.
Is there a seconder? Do you wish to speak to it?
No, is that dealing with, are we doing?
I'm doing B. Do you wish to speak, Councillor Giles? Anyone wish to speak against that? Okay, Councillor McGuell, you don't wish to speak. Right, Councillor Smith.
Mr. Mayor, I think it just follows that if we're going to value the councillors, we need to value the mayor and the regional as well.
Yeah, Giles. Giles.
I would leave that in the hands of the experts. Thank you.
Speaker 4. Yeah, close, thanks.
Just sum that up, it's hard to put a figure on it, so I'll be just for the next four saying that that's what it should be, again, hoping it goes to a policy to make decisions on those kind of things.
Okay. Those in favour of B as 30,000, those please indicate. Those against?
No.
So Councillor Smith, Councillor Hayward, that's carried. Councillor Smith and Councillor Hayward voted against, the rest voted for. We move to C, the allowance. Is there a mover? Councillor Giles? I'm dealing with them individually.
Sorry, just happy to second.
Councillor Giles moves, Councillor McWell seconds that it be $3,500. Is there likely to be a speaker against? I'll put it all in favour.
Yes.
It's carried unanimously. D.
Mr Mayor, I would like to move a motion that the mayoral allowance rise at the same amount that the councillor's allowance, and to make it 64,000. Thank you.
Is there a seconder? Councillor Giles, you wish to speak to it?
Yes, Mr Mayor, just very briefly, I think that's the same. It's the same increase in monetary terms that the councillors are about to receive, but it also means that the deputy mayor gets a rise in his mayoral allowance, deputy mayoral allowance. So I think that's a fair thing that occur. Thank you.
Is there a speaker against? I'll put it. Those in favour, please indicate.
Yes.
Those against? That's carried. So Councillor McGuell, Councillor Yip, Councillor Steele and myself voted against. The rest were voted for, so it's carried. Okay. Deputy Mayor. E. Councillor Giles.
I'll move the current figure, please.
25%. Seconder. Councillor Steck. Is there likely to be debate, councillors? I'll put it all in favour.
Yes.
Those against? Councillor Steele against. That's carried. Councillor Steele was against. The rest were for. Thank you. We move on to 10.3.2. Council, I'll take this as one motion, 1, 2 and 3, but let's go for an absolute majority for 2. everybody happy with that? Can I have someone, if you are, can I have someone move the executive recommendation? Councillor Steck, Councillor McCleary? Is there likely to be any debate? I'll put it all in favour. That's carried unanimously, thank you. We move to 10.5.1. I know a couple of councillors want to speak to this, so I'll ask for a mover of the executive recommendation first. Councillor Smith, is there a seconder? Councillor McCreary. Councillor Smith, do you wish to speak to it?
I've had an interest in the Bunbury Airport for a very long time. So I moved to last week. My late younger brother did his training there. And I recall he was about 17 or 18. And of course there were no lights along the runway those days. So we used to run along with lamps on either side. And then he'd take off and do what they ever did. Came back down again several times. And then when they finished, we run along and picked them all up again. Didn't want to set fire to anything. So I've got happy memories of that, and I can't see that we're going to rush into this matter, but I think we need to do something about it. Just before COVID kicked in, I was invited to a breakfast up there, and I was amazed at the vibrancy and the amount of pilots who were in for that Sunday morning. It was just incredible. Even the man who's involved in the Thai cave rescue, one of the doctors, he was there as well, and apparently he used to come every month. They'd fly their planes in from all over the Wheatbelt, Perth, wherever, and it was just vibrant and humming along, and I thought it was terrific. I will say one thing though, I think before we ever get to the stage of cross runways and that we need to do a lot of research on the winds. I've been told that you've got to check out the winds, and I don't know if I'm correct, I believe there's only one windsock out there. I don't know if Mr. Archibald can tell me if that's just one of them, but there should be maybe a couple, and we need to do research where the best place is to put the cross runway in. Thank you.
Councillor McCleary, do you wish to speak?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I would like to congratulate the Managing Engineer of Civil Operations and the Senior Airport Reporting Officer, Nigel Archibald. 7 years ago, was it 6 years ago? I can't remember. When I started, that was one of the first places that I went out to, and it was in a great transition stage of change, and they have just come along in leaps and bounds, and I would like to say congratulations. They've done a fantastic job. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Councillor Giles, and then I'll come back to you, Councillor Hayward. First of all, Councillor Giles has a couple of questions.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Now, I do know that these questions have been answered for some of us, but I know that for the gallery and the people who are watching the stream, they may not have been answered, so if you would just bear with me. I know we talked a little bit last week about the vegetation that might need to be removed. Could we have an explanation? Is that part of the Ocean to Preston Park?
Yeah. CEO.
Through Mr Mayor, the Bunbury Airport is not part of the Preston to Ocean Regional Park.
Thank you. And also, so the vegetation that will need to be removed should this come to pass, we have to plant things like elsewhere, is that correct?
CEO?
Sorry, I missed that last part.
Offset it.
Offset?
Yes, there's a process to go through for any application for clearing of native vegetation, and normally that would be would involve an offset provision.
Thank you. And just the last one, thank you. I know we're talking about a master plan tonight, but if other developments, you know, the development as it comes, as we get the money and are able to do it, that will come back to council as it happens. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Councillor Hayward, did you have questions, or did you want to speak against this?
Mr Mayor, I'd like to propose an amendment to B, if possible.
So you're speaking against at the moment?
I'm not looking to speak against. I'm supportive of the motion. I'm just looking if I could move an amendment to add a point B, please.
What's that amendment?
That the City of Bunbury speak to the state government to explore options for the Devonport link instead of funding the proposed overpass at the South Brisbane Highway.
I'd be happy to
My view is, Councillor Hayward, probably that's not directly related to the master plan at this stage, but councillors, I'm in your hands. If you disagree with my ruling, I'm suggesting that's not relating to this master plan at this stage.
Mr Mayor, may I ask a question?
Yep.
Or make a comment to it? I'd be happy to second it on the basis that...
I'm not accepting the motion.
No?
I'm not accepting the amendment.
Okay.
So, but I'm saying I'm open to you disagreeing with me.
I agree with that we just go with what the executive recommendation is,
Yeah,
because
sorry,
it starts to
Councillor
muddy
Curry.
the water. Okay.
I'm
we'll
inviting members of council to disagree with my ruling, which I don't do very often. Okay, so that's where we're at. Oh, it happens. So, Councillor Hayward, did you want to speak? I know you don't want to speak against this. You wanted to add something to it, but did you want to speak against?
I'm happy with that.
Okay.
I will vote in favour. Thank you.
Okay. So is there anyone who wishes to speak against this? Okay, I'll put it all in favour.
Yes.
So that's carried unanimously. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen in the gallery, this next matter is a tender matter, so we're going to go behind closed doors. So can I have someone move that we do that? Councillor Giles, Councillor Plum, all in favour? That's carried unanimously. Councillor Hayward, I'm afraid we're going to have to drop you off here.
Yes, no problem at all. Thank you very much, Mr Mayor.
And I won't come back to you. This is your last item. Okay, cheers.
Yes, thank you.
The green one, Gary.